So today we're dealing with the last issue that I think makes this GL 1000 roadworthy, and that's the ignition points. And that's why it's important to do this, because this is the second time now this has left me stranded. Check it out. Was going to fill up with gas so we can make a video about the ignition, and before I even pull into the gas station, the bike just shuts off, and it's doing the thing, you know, where you press it and it only runs with the start button pressed in, which is exactly what we were going to fix later today after I made an intro about it. But here I am, stuck on this hill. As I was saying, the last thing that I think this 1975 GL 1000 needs before it's road trip worthy, which it's not right now, is the ignition system needs to go through, because what's happening is the resistors in the ignition coils aren't working properly, and the only way that the bike runs is if the start button's engaged, because when you press the start button, it bypasses the resistors on the coils. So today we're going to be installing Dynatek ignition coils, which gets rid of the stock resistor setup, and we're also going to be checking timing on the electronic points. Let's get a shot here. This is why it's important to be doing these ignition coils. Not a great place for this to break down. Okay, let's go. Oh, okay. Changed his mind. By the way, it's a pretty hot day, just in case you were wondering. And poor Chelsea, she was on the side of me, but who knows where she is now. She's probably worried. Keeping it running. It's kind of awkward. And off camera, I was messing with the ignition coil and broke one of the wires. No. God damn it. So I think it's actually only running on 2 cylinders now, but we'll see. This will probably burn up the coils, but since we're replacing them anyway, I don't think I care. As long as we get home and off this busy road. I feel like a Harley brother revving my engine like this. Uh-oh, don't die on me now. Oh, come on. Almost there. I didn't even get to show you guys the dead spot in the RPM curve. What are the emotions you're feeling right now?
Better now that we're not on the side of the road.
Thanks for helping. Man, what an adventure. I went out there for a ride to tell you why we were replacing the ignition coils today, but the bike decided to show you why. So let's get to it. So the coils are easy enough to get to. Really, you just have to take off this panel and they're right here. This is one of the main reasons I modify that aluminum GL 1100 radiator, because some people would modify how the coils sit on the bike, and that would allow them to put the GL 1100 radiator in there. But knowing I was upgrading to the Dyna stuff, I didn't want to have to mess with any of that. I just wanted to slide right in, and I think it was worth it messing with the radiator that way instead of messing with the coils. So this is what we're eliminating with this new setup. This is the ballast resistor. And the way this bike is wired is when you hit the start button, it bypasses this resistor, allowing the coils to fire. And when you let go, all the current goes through this again. This is like the exact symptom of a failing ballast resistor. So instead of replacing the ballast resistor and all the old coils, I'm just upgrading to the Dyna stuff. So nothing about removing these coils for the old brackets have been easy. I need these for the new ones. Been spending an hour because everything's just so hard. The screws are stripping. This one just snapped off in this mount. So I'm trying everything to save these, but I might end up having to find used ones online. It seems like everyone has an opinion on whether to run the 3 ohm coil or the 5 ohm coil. I elected with the 3 ohm just because I already have the electronic ignition, but go ahead and tell me why I made a bad decision in the comments, because I know it's already coming. All I'm doing here is snipping the ends of these, the power and grounds, and adding these ring terminals. That way they can fit on the new coils. Got everything wired up. Power. The polarity doesn't matter on these. So I got the grounds on the back, power in the front, and then I have this wire looped. This was for the ballast resistor, so if I'm not running it, you got to loop it or the bike won't even start. One of my biggest issues with this, right, is the reliability of its running. I have a dead spot from 2,000 to 5,000, and it could still be carbs, but my main hypothesis was, man, you know what? I never double checked that Dyna electronic ignition timing that the previous owner put in. My thought was maybe it's not timed. And I wanted to do all this before I put the Dyna coils in, but because my resistor like just flat out failed in the old ones, I couldn't test it. But now that all that's in there, I rigged up a little timing light. I went through and it is off. According to my book, this is when this light should light up, which is at the F mark. And right now it is probably at the 1 mark. So the 1 is all the way down here. It is off kind of a lot, actually. We'll take a closer look here. Probably just enough to where it's going to be running like crap, like it has been, backfiring, just firing the spark at the wrong time. So I'm on the F2 mark now, which is for the left side ignition module, which controls cylinders 3 and 4. The light should be on right now, but it's not. And if I can adjust this left side of the ignition module just a hair, well, really it's not a hair, it's almost the whole thing. So right about there. Okay, and then I'm going to rotate the engine to the F1 mark and do it for the right ignition coil for cylinders 1 and 2. And I already know that's off too, because I was looking at that. That's the first one I was looking at. That light should be lighting up right now. Okay. All right. I messed with that one a little bit already. So I'm going to screw that one down, hoping that this was a lot of the issues we were having with the rideability. Also the backfiring I was getting at idle and driving. If not, we'll figure it out. It could be a carb issue. It is always a carb issue. So I also decided to get new wires while I was at it. This is just the 7mm.
This is me just building those wires the way they come. You cut them to length and you strip them back and crimp them yourself.
Maybe it's hard to tell in the video, but it sounds a lot healthier. And I only had choke on for about 10 seconds before I could take it off, which before it would have to stay on for over a minute before pressing it in. And it still wasn't even happy after a minute. I was hoping the new coils would fix my kill switch not working, but I'll have to dig into that and see why that's still not working. But man, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to take it out and see if there's any differences. It's acting weird at idle, but at least it's idling. But maybe now that it's timed right, I should resync the carbs. Maybe that will change something up. If you have any ideas why it's popping during idle, let me know. Okay, moment of truth. I still feel like it's a little laggy, but it's like so much better. So I still think the carbs are a little messed up. I don't know, maybe that's just normal acceleration. That felt pretty normal. Not like I would know. I've never driven one of these before, but that pull versus that first pull, huge difference. Obviously something was wrong with it the first time, and that was the timing was off. Full throttle, second gear. Yeah, that's loads better. Insane acceleration after 4 or 5 for, you know, this old bike. This bike drives very well I'm very impressed with, I mean, I knew obviously it's a Goldwing, so people love these for a reason. Still getting some slight backfires, cruising at 3,000 RPM. When I let off the throttle a little bit, idle, we heard it during idle, it was still backfiring. Under load it sounds great. Okay, it's our first stop of the trip. Let's see if we have any dying issues or little backfire there. We're idling at 2,000. Before leaving I adjusted the throttle a little bit, so we might be a little high because it was dying just sitting there warming up. Backfires on diesel. If I find out anything else with the hesitation, I'll update it here, but I'd love to hear your opinions on what could be causing that slight hesitation I might still be seeing at 2,000-3,000. But until then, thanks for watching.